Honda's making really good progress with their EV transition here in North America. Love it or hate it, right? Meanwhile, Honda also came out with a huge announcement over in China. They just came out with 3 new EVs. We're going to break this down and talk about how it compares to the 0 Series that is coming stateside. Honda unveils the I'm just going to say it's the It could be yay. I don't speak any forms of Chinese, so let me know down below if you do. Let me know how you would say this. I'm just going to say it's the next generation EV series for China. We have the P7, the S7, and the GT concept. The GT concept to me is the one that's very, very tempting. Now, this vehicle in the middle, I'll go ahead and pull up an image of it. This is the GT concept. This, my friends, is gorgeous, and I hope they come out with something like it in the United States. This will be coming in 2025 in China, and it has digital side mirrors too. But again, it's just a concept, but these other models here, I don't believe are concepts. These are all going to be at the Beijing Auto Show later this month. They will be on display. The S7 is here on the side, not to be confused with the Celine S7, and these headlights or daytime running lights remind me of the Revuelto, and not so much over here. This looks more like the Prologue's headlights, right? Not the Prologue, sorry, the Prelude. Yes, it gets a little confusing, but the Prelude concept, the front end here looks very similar. Over here, this is definitely Revuelto-like. Make sure to watch my walk around video on the Revuelto for the Naples Lamborghini dealership grand opening. That was pretty cool. All right, notice how the handles are flush with the body. Here's the surprising thing. So these vehicles on both sides are essentially the same thing, right? The P7 and the S7. This is obviously sporty. This we've actually seen concepts of before in the past. It was this vehicle, right? The one of the EN series, EN-R2 or whatever they kind of ditched that naming, it seems like, for their next generation. They're just called the P7. So I guess the naming's a little bit better now, but this was the vehicle as well as this one, right? We had 2 different versions, and now it seems like these are the final versions of them. So we had 2 different concepts. These 2 guys, ENS1, ENS2, and ENP. I don't even know. Before that, we had the EN SUV. So these concepts were kind of the precursors to what we're finally getting here in China. And I will have to say the designs are pretty interesting. Definitely more interesting than the most recent Honda Accord design or maybe even the CR-V design. Let me know if you like them. I have more images here, and I got more exciting information to show on these concepts as well. All right, so here's the S7, a different angle of it. You will be able to get the P7 and S7 in 2 different configurations to my knowledge. You will be able to actually get a Honda and rear-wheel drive on these crossovers. A Honda and rear-wheel drive. That's what electrification affords you. It's super easy. Just put the motor in the back, call it a day, have more fun driving dynamics with rear-wheel drive propulsion. You can get them in dual motor all-wheel drive as well. Model, the P7. This honestly looks like it could be an EV version of the CR-V here in the States. The S7 is far too sporty looking, even though they're pretty much the same vehicle. And here's a GT concept from the side. Very, very neat. I love the sweeping roof line, and it kind of reminds me, Honda had this concept. I don't know if you guys see that. It's kind of behind the ENP2. Now it's just called the P7. Anyways, we had this low-slung vehicle that was kind of a precursor in some ways to what we have now with the GT concept that'll be coming in 2025. Now, I want to pick your guys' brains a little bit. I'm going to put this at the top end of the screen. Honda also has EVs coming for the United States. This is the 0 Series, and they will be using this new Honda logo for their next-gen EVs here in the United States. It's not just China, right? So let me know which silhouette you like more. This vehicle, this is a concept, so we don't know how much it'll change. I assume it's going to have normal doors, but if this 0 Saloon is what they're calling it comes to the United States looking like this car looks like it's something from a previous era, but I don't know if that's what the customer wants. I think the customer would rather have a more traditional looking liftback, kind of a Kia Stinger sort of design going here. Let me know what you guys would prefer. In theory, they will be on 2 different platforms. Honda will have their own platforms for China, which will be based on here. And then the new platform built in North America will be on this, as well as the affiliate EV that will be coming from a joint venture of Sony and Honda. Let me know between these 3 designs which you find the most interesting. I think they're all pretty unique on their own, extremely unique, to be honest. So anyways, let's get back to the press release here. Unfortunately, I don't have any images of the interior of these vehicles, the S7, the P7, or the GT Concept. Honda's planning to introduce a total of 10 Honda brand EV models in China by 2027 and striving to make EVs represent 100% of its automobile business in China by 2035. They also have plug-in hybrid models in China. Go figure. No availability of Honda plug-in hybrids since the Clarity PHEV was discontinued. But here's stateside. We have some different things going on. The Anna engine plant is also going to be building EV. I think they're also building the EV battery capsules. I don't get too much into it. I'd rather just read the press release. There you go. There it is. There's the IPU is what they're calling it. It's like gigacasted. And it's the largest casted piece from Honda ever in any of their factories. Okay. So, and they're also welding this together, which is going to make for switching out those battery modules may be impossible until you might just have to scrap the whole battery pack, even if there's one bad module in there. I'm not 100% sure on that. Hopefully Honda has a way, but they have lots of updates here. So let's get into it. We'll read the bullet points first, and then we'll get into what each plant is doing. Honda EV Hub is developing knowledge and expertise in EV technology and production to be shared with other Honda plants in North America. Investment in Ohio EV Hub is progressing as planned. Marysville, Ohio plant, the MAP, gearing up for start production in 2025, next year already. And Honda is expected to hire 300 associates for its EV hub in Ohio. And upskilling of Honda associates for EV and IPU production begins this year. The Honda Marysville auto plant. And the key changes there are the startup of EV production and subassembly of the IPU, or the integrated power unit. Marysville's recently consolidated its 2 production lines, tearing out much of line 2 to enable production of both EVs and ICE vehicles on the same line. The additional space will be used to improve the ease of movement for the people on the line and the efficiency of the line side parts delivery and staging for assembly both EV and ICE vehicles, as well as the expansion of the vehicle quality area to verify software-dependent vehicle functions. The IPU subassembly at Marysville also renovated a material consolidation area to create new workspace where some 300 associates will subassemble the IPU that houses the EV battery module and is controlling hardware and software. And once MAP begins IPU production, it will supply IPUs for the production of EVs at both Marysville and East Liberty auto plants. Over at Honda's Anna engine plant, where in the past they produce engines, engine components, transmissions, camshafts, crankshafts, high-tech CVT components that will contain the EV battery module and serve as a mainframe structure for the floor of Honda and Acura EVs. So they'll have structural battery packs. That's why it needs to be welded together for ultimate rigidity. Now it makes sense to me after reading this. So the Anna engine plant with the high pressure die casting, they're installing 6,000 ton high pressure die cast machines that will mega cast instead of giga cast, right? They're just using a different word here. Mega cast the IPU case. The new die cast machine, over 31 feet tall, will bring IPU manufacturing in-house for the first time ever at Honda. You also have friction stir welding. The IPU case is much larger than anything Honda has die cast before, and it will be die cast in 2 pieces and will be welded together seamlessly using friction stir welding. And to create space for production of the IPU case in 2023, Anna engine plant transferred production of its engine components to 2 different generations of engines to its Alabama auto plant. Meanwhile, over at the Honda East Liberty auto plant, they will be producing EVs as well, but with a single production line instead of the hybrid line that we had at the Marysville auto plant. And the line changes required at the East Liberty auto plant focused more on accommodating the heavier weight of EVs. So they'll be strengthening overhead conveyors that carry vehicles through the plant and is expanding the paint department to accommodate the heavier weight of BEVs. Similar to Marysville Auto Plant, the Vehicle Quality Area ELP is being expanded to verify software-dependent vehicle functions. We also have the joint venture EV battery plant with LG Chem. This is a more than 2 million square feet joint venture at Jefferson, Ohio. The facility recently enclosed the exterior structure, and the final structure steel beam was installed on February 29th, almost a year to the day after the groundbreaking for the new facility. Hiring is underway for the plant as well, with a variety of engineering and support position currently posted at the company website. If you guys need a job, you can move to Ohio. It's not the most glamorous place to live, but cost of living is pretty affordable there, if I remember correctly. Honda and LG Energy Solution have committed to invest $3.5 billion in the joint venture facility, with the overall investment projected to reach $4.4 billion. They will be completed with the new facility by the end of this year, with annual capacity approximately 40 gigawatt hours. It depends on the battery size, but that could be as much as, let's say, 500,000 battery electric EVs. And lastly, I just want to mention this real quick. Nissan shows its construction of its all-solid-state battery pilot line in Japan. Let's go ahead and click on some of the photos here. It's pretty much completely empty, kind of like how Honda's facility videos and photos were. Automotive News has a nice write-up. They're able to, one of their journalists, Hans Grammel, was able to attend this Nissan walkthrough of their solid-state battery future assembly lines. Nissan's calling it a game changer. I 100% agree, especially if they can beat other manufacturers to the market. By next March, state-of-the-art manufacturing equipment will be installed and turning out trial runs of the breakthrough next-gen solid-state batteries. Initial volumes will be limited to several tens of thousands of cells, enough to power only a handful of prototypes. But the pilot run will gradually scale up to 100 megawatts per year, enough for 1 to 2,000 EVs. After mass production begins in the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2029, volume could eventually reach between 3 to 30 gigawatts a year. Nissan will be testing the batteries and prototype EVs on public roads in the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2027, and then employ them in a production EV in the fiscal year ending March 31st, 2029. I can't wait to see your comments down below on Honda's EVs in China compared to the EVs that we're getting here stateside, including the Space Hub. This thing, I would love to have this as a minivan. I would maybe like to have more windows back here. If this was all windows, imagine how cool that would look. But it is what it is. It's just a concept. Anyways, I'm going to shut it down there. I'm excited for Honda, and I can't wait to have rear-wheel drive Hondas once again. Hopefully that is also the case with their Zero Series. And when I say rear-wheel drive Hondas once again, the NSX, I think there may have been an Acura SUV, which was a rebadged Isuzu or something way back in the day. It's before my time. And there's also the S2000, which is rear-wheel drive. So hardly any Hondas here in North America that were offered as rear-wheel drive. You have K cars and stuff that are different over in Japan. But finally, getting some more rear-wheel drive cars for Honda, hopefully. Hopefully they just don't say, oh, you know, rear-wheel drive is only for Acura. Sorry, Honda, you don't get it. I don't think that's going to be the case with their own in-house EVs. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay tuned for more Honda news coming out soon. I will be driving the Acura ZDX, the first EV from Acura, next week. So you want to see my impressions for that, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button if you made this far. I appreciate you, and have a great day. Peace.